Hello guys, this is Pavel Oskorov from Laravel Daily team, and today in this episode of Laravel Daily video I want to show you a story. You might call it a presentation, a slideshow, a speech, a talk, whatever you call it. I hope it will take up to half an hour, not more, and I will tell you what we've achieved with our package QuickAdmin so far. It's been released like a year ago, a little more, and it was an open source project. Now it's a product for like online generating admin panel, but I want to touch the business side since I'm moving myself from being a developer to a product guy to a manager guy. So QuickAdmin is my personal investment, both as a developer and a manager and owner of that thing. And I want to share my story of basically creating a package. So how to go from being a developer to being a package creator, owner, the business challenges, the client's challenges. So how did it begin and what do we have now? So stay tuned for that, and let's start with how it all started. It all started a few years ago when it was Laravel 4, and that's an example of a client that we had. Actually, I had, at that point, I didn't have any team, any freelancers working with me, so I was a freelancer, and that was one of the examples, one of the clients, which just, they needed just admin panel, basically, internal management system, client from France. And from that client, I've created some simple snippets, some simple generators, like generating form by like JSON structure or something like that. So the first version of QuickAdmin was actually totally internal, not fancy, working with a lot of bugs and not structured properly, and it was really simple just for generating the admin panel, like the basic stuff for myself. But it grew into a big project which was still internal, but based on that we could create much bigger projects, like creating form by form, field by field, CRUD by CRUD, and then coding on top of that. So that's an example of a bigger project with bigger dashboard for a bigger client with dummy data, but still, like, you can imagine what kind of admin panels and CRMs, basically. That's a CRM example. So what we could create with QuickAdmin. So some of those projects took off, and not only that, basically we've touched the niche for our own services. At this point, I already had the team of freelancers. I think it was one at that point. Now I currently have from 3 to 5, depending on the project. I have teammates, but still coding myself, actually. But at this point, we had a few clients who showed us the niche. So we weren't creating any like home pages or company websites, like styling anything. We were just working on data management solutions, CRMs, internal management systems for the companies, for small businesses, and that showed us the road, which we're still there now. So our main focus and main clients are small businesses who need data management solutions, and QuickAdmin was perfectly in line for that. Next step, we decided to open source it. So we created it as a package finally, and we've uploaded it to GitHub. It was a year ago, or even more, I guess, by this point, maybe a year and a half. And it also took off. As you can see, there are 300 stars. It has more than 10,000 installs for now, up to this point. Some commits, releases, contributors, actually, and yeah, it was quite a success in open source community. Before, a lot of admin panel generators were born. Now there are a lot of them on the market, and it's pretty sophisticated market and a lot of competition. I've even written an article on Laravel News, 13 Laravel admin panel generators. So now we're totally not the only one on the market. Even then we weren't the only one, but there were fewer of them, let's say. So the next step of the evolution was open sourcing to GitHub, and at that point I didn't even think about any uh, direct revenue from that or profit from that. It was just a tool for ourselves to build client projects, to save our own time, well, basically earn more money from that, but it wasn't a product for money. It wasn't sold. You couldn't be paying customers or anything like that. So it was totally open source. And we're still creating projects. I'm pitching, that was a demo version of it. Now it's not functioning from what I remember. So yeah, in cover letters on stuff on sites like Upwork or others, I was just showing the demo for clients. And that actually did work really well, because when the clients needed something related to admin panel or data management, they hire they're more willing to hire a person who did exactly that kind of stuff over someone who is just experienced in Laravel. So that really worked well, and we had more and more clients just from that niche. But at some point we were again, we had some downtime, some less work, and we decided to put that thing in house for as a product, basically. Uh, this is the thing that you're actually well, you see now. QuickAdminPanel.com was born officially like half a year ago, a little more than that, I guess. So I thought, why not? We still have that functionality. We have it open sourced, but why not turn it into an open, not open, online generator, both for ourselves actually, again, and for people to use. And how did it turn out? Let's see. We were thinking about pricing a lot, and we were thinking what to price, what is the model, what would people pay for, and we came up with such structure. So since we're generating Laravel files, people need to see what was being generated, and that should be for free. But if you want to download the whole Laravel project, you should pay money. And we came up with almost random number. Actually, we didn't, there's no much logic behind that $9.99. Besides, it's just well, more than $1 but less than 100, something like in between, which is reasonable enough. So if you generate one Laravel project with our generator, you pay $9.99, and it pays off immediately, because it saves like hours of your time or even days sometimes for a bigger project. So we thought it would be a really reasonable price, and we started with that. And it took off. The idea took off, and that's the screenshot of the first purchase on Stripe, which happened in August of 2016, just before Laracon EU, which I've attended in Amsterdam, I think. So it was pretty exciting times of a project we've launched, and actually there was this first person who actually believed in us, paid money, and basically, well, it was the first proof of concept that this thing actually can work and people could actually pay for that. But then we went back to the lab and back to the office, back to the boards and computers to do a lot of refactoring. So we saw that the first version was not sophisticated enough, not flexible enough. We were experimenting a lot. The whole architecture was changed a few times, like from the ground up. And like the refactoring number 3 or 4 was actually good enough to scale, to build something more, to build bigger projects, bigger, well, to grow big. And then we went back to marketing. Actually, it wasn't back and forth, it was simultaneously. So colleagues were building more functionality, and I was coding too, and meanwhile I was trying to shout everywhere about our tool on my own Laravel daily blog, on GitHub, on Twitter. Actually, the source that paid off really well was GitHub. On the same open source repository in README file, the first line I've added, if you want online version, please try QuickAdminPanel.com. and a lot of people it's still working. So a lot of people come through there, through GitHub. And Twitter actually is pretty active because a lot of developers are on Twitter and using Twitter every day. So it took off and paid off. And also Laravel Daily Blog, since it's popular right now, and after was that year and a half, I think, or 2 years of existing Laravel Daily Blog, now it started to pay off. It has 2,000 visitors a day, mostly from Google, searching for random Laravel tips. And I've added like an ad sponsorship message inside of some articles, some of the most popular ones. So please try QuickAdmin Panel if you want to build admin panel. So from here and there we have random or less random visitors, and the numbers are growing. Also, I've launched some other marketing strategies like showcase projects. One of them, probably the best example, is laraquiz.com, which I've created myself with QuickAdmin Panel. I've filled in the questions myself, so those 70 questions are my own. Some of them, like Googled, some of them just came out of my mind. And 1,700 users actually registered and took Laraquiz to test their Laravel knowledge. And also visiting quickadminpanel.com. So on the left hand side you see the link, and that actually worked pretty well too. So if you have a package, like a tip for you is to showcase as much as you can, like build something on top of that package and show results, show it visually, visibly, and with some interesting projects. Also, we've started a blog. Well, I've started a blog. I'm writing it currently at the moment. And we were mostly focusing on the new functionality on QuickAdmin. So whenever we launch something new, I blog about it. But also there are articles which are just helpful for building admin panels. Recently, actually, I've written even a whole mini course on how to build admin panel without QuickAdmin, just on pure Laravel 5.4. So the blog is not only about us and about QuickAdmin, but also about Laravel and some tips and useful tools, useful packages, and just generally sharing the knowledge with the community. And the difference between the old Laravel Daily blog and QuickAdmin blog, which are both written by myself. The Laravel Daily blog became about tips and tricks, and QuickAdmin became about tools, packages, and basically tools. And the results, well, as follows. You see the Twitter example. That's a real person. I didn't ask him to put that online, but we received first positive reactions from real clients who are paying money. First testimonials, which we then added to our homepage. So this was the second wave of proof of concept, that real people, and we had more and more customers. The customer base were growing. And more and more people just shared the positive results about QuickAdmin. And also it showed in analytics, in visitors amount. This graph is not actually convenient to see. It has like 2014 and 15, which is irrelevant, but you can see that 3,000 visits in November, and it's 100 per day, which is not that bad, I guess, for a new project, for a new product. And it was growing month over month. Not only that, the SEO thing was growing. The Google results were showing more and more, like in terms of percentage out of the whole traffic. Google was stronger and stronger. So, and even now it's even stronger now. So these numbers are from a few weeks ago. So it's grown since then too. And this is the example. So if you Google Laravel admin panel, you will see 2 or even 3 results about QuickAdmin. So the official website, then the GitHub, which, as I said, has the first line of please visit QuickAdmin panel. Also, you will see now Laravel news article, like my review of 13 admin panels, including QuickAdmin. The Google results are pretty strong for us, but I didn't put any effort, any like super effort into SEO or anything like that. It was just pure work on the product and blogging about it, and the strategy paid off. Probably because there's not much competition on the market in terms of like real fully built admin panel products, but also I guess Laravel Daily brand helped here. But there's a but and there's a downside. It all was growing and it was fun to watch, but not a lot of people were actually paying for the service. I remind you that the price for downloading one admin panel was $9.99, and here you can see how much money we actually made. So in 3 months we made a total of £162. Since our company is based in the UK, it's all in pounds. So yeah, £50 per month. So it doesn't even cover, I guess it does cover the AWS cost and hosting in Forge, but yeah, barely. So it's pretty sad. And then we went back to drawing board, to whiteboard, to business model, questioning what are we doing wrong if the visitor base is growing, but no one is actually, well, not no one, but only a few people actually were paying for that. Maybe the whole idea is bad. Maybe developers wouldn't pay for this service. Maybe we need to get back to service and not switch to product. And of course, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, let's call me this way, I went to cry out on Medium. I've written an article basically about the main point that the business is hard. It's not developing. So the slide shows it. Like if you're switching from being a developer and providing service to your clients, and you're switching to product world, it's totally different mindset. You have to think about how to sell your product, support every customer. There are a lot of potential customers. You have to convince them to buy, and well, it's different mindset. And you have to be constantly selling, not building, not developing, not working on product, but selling, writing about it, shouting about it everywhere on social media and elsewhere. So it's a totally different mindset, and I'm still learning how to master basically the product world. And we went back to figuring out the problems. So the first problem we've faced, and we've agreed to ourselves, and basically we were convinced that the business model is wrong and the pricing is wrong. For 2 reasons here, I've listed them. First, I remind you the model was you can view files for free, unlimited times, but if you want to download the Laravel project, you pay $9.99. And that was wrong from 2 levels. First, if I don't download, I cannot feel and touch the whole product, like the final result. And also some of the people were totally fine with just viewing the files, copying and pasting the code into their PHP Storm or Sublime or whatever the editor, and they didn't even bother paying or even thinking about payment. So, well, it's not really cheaters, but basically we allowed them to cheat like that and not pay for that service. And problem number 2 was the whole UX, the whole process of creating the admin panel was a little too complicated. So if you want to create a CRUD, there was too many like checkboxes, like drop downs, sections, and like panels and stuff like that. So we went down and simplified as much as possible. So now in current version, if you try out QuickAdminPanel.com, you will see, well, you won't see the difference, but it's much simpler than it used to be, and it has only like the stuff you actually need, and it's stripped down. It's not you don't need to scroll too much, at least a little, for creating CRUD, so we went down and simplified a little, and that actually did help. Also, we've changed the strategy for that pricing model, view and download. We've changed it that you can do whatever you want and unlimited functions, and you can view and download the project, and you can use whatever you want, but we're limiting the amounts of what you can actually use. So for free you can create only one project, one admin panel, and up to 5 CRUDs, up to 5 menu items. And then there are 2 plans, professional and unlimited. Professional allows 3 projects and unlimited CRUDs, and also live chat support. I'll get back to that point a little later. And then there was unlimited plan, three times price, which allowed unlimited everything, download, admin panels, CRUDs, and priority support, including feature requests. So if people added some feature requests on our live chat or Trello, then the premium customers, the unlimited plan customers, were the priority among other customers. Also, we've introduced a thing called modules. In other like CMSs or frameworks, there are multiple ways to name those things. Plugins, modules, add-ons, like templates, whatever you call them. So in our case it was modules, and basically at first the module was just the set of CRUDs, the set of menu items. So for example, for time management there was pre-built things for CRUDs, and like pre-built CRUDs, work types, projects, time entries, and some custom code for reports. So basically we've packaged some CRUDs into modules, and this way we thought that it would be easier to understand and to use the QuickAdmin panel, and to understand what are we actually building, so people wouldn't have to go through all the creating of CRUD with relationships, with menu items. Instead, they just click install a module, they receive new menu item, they download it, and then they see, oh, okay, so they've generated this and this for that. Okay, then it makes sense. So to simplify the result, the feeling of the result, we've introduced modules. And what do you know? that was actually that solved the first growth problem. So people actually started paying for that service. They started to understand what we're about and what we're doing here, and the numbers actually went up. And here's the actual real numbers for us up to February. And it's not even comparing. It was almost like a 0 before, and now it's a few hundred per month, which is still really low numbers. It's not sustainable yet, and we're not full-time on that project yet, not even close. But still, like the proof of concept number 2. So people were actually paying for unlimited plan. Actually, it's about half and half. Like 50% were paying for a $9.99 plan just to try out, and half of them were actually using unlimited plan. So we have a success story, right? No, not so fast. So I mean, yeah, the money went up and the revenue went up, but as a business owner here in this case, as an investor, I had to look at the numbers closely, and as I said, it's still not profitable, far from it. And you can see our toggle.com report for how many hours were spent, basically from summer 2016 to February, and that's only the development. So multiply that by any reasonable hourly rate, and like the total amount of like how much is spent already on that project would be tens of thousands of dollars, euros, pounds, whatever currency you use. So we're still far from being profitable or financially successful, but I see growing trend, and it makes me optimistic. And we didn't refuse, and we didn't abandon the old model of like old business model. We're still pitching to clients. We're still covering the costs by getting new projects here and there. Also, my pitches went more serious, because now I can show to the client not only the generator, but I can also show modules, and some of the modules are specifically for the needs of the client, like contact management or like uploading the files, stuff like that. So it still brings clients, and actually, even if QuickAdmin Panel as a product itself, if it doesn't take off really well, it would still be profitable in terms of how many clients it brings, and how much time we actually saved with help of that. So that's a short story. I hope it's short, and here are main takeaways and lessons. Lesson number one is pricing. There's no right pricing or wrong pricing. There will be people complaining just because you charge for something, because, well, Laravel is free, and why are you charging, and why are you, like, people are almost angry about you charging for some stuff, for your work, and there will be always people like that. And on the other hand, there will be people who pay gladly for premium plan, for the most expensive plan, and they value your time, and they thank you for saving their time. And the way we've positioned the QuickAdmin panel, and how we differentiate on the market from other admin panel generators, is that we're not selling code generator, we're selling the service, we're selling customer support, which is takeaway on lesson number two. People wouldn't pay, I guess, for selling just the package, if it was like just GitHub repository with access to the repository and just code, just technical solution basically. People pay for our support and for our service, and they invest in the tool to be upgraded, to have new functionality, and they basically believe in us and invest in us as people, as the team, as Laravel Daily team, as QuickAdmin team, and they pay mostly for that, not just for the generator. And related to that, we're using live chat quite a lot. If you try go like now to quickadminpanel.com, and I hope I will be online at that that moment, because I'm using Talk.to. It's a free tool which is both online and Android app. I'm using Android app, so I hope I will be online to answer your any questions or concerns. But actually, live chat really worked well, because I've had enormous amount of interesting conversations, both with existing customers who want more functionality, also reporting some bugs or reporting something unusual, and also conversations with people who want to purchase, or maybe are just interested in what are we creating here, and they have some questions that lead to new functionality. So if I see some pattern that a lot of people are asking about one or another functionality, I might add it to our roadmap. So live chat and talking to customers is really, really valuable. It's much more valuable than sitting in our office and just coding, just creating stuff on your vision. So your vision should be actually pretty strong, but it should be pivoting after conversations with customers. And the takeaway number 4 is some Lithuanian text here, because I will present the same presentation in my local Lithuanian meetup next week, so sorry for the title. So the takeaway number 4, it helps to have a brand. So Laravel Daily thing, my blog, which started as daily, is not actually daily, but it's kind of resurrecting as daily in video form, like this one. So that having that Laravel Daily brand with a few thousand followers and a newsletter, it helped a lot. And I think people believed in the package created by Laravel Daily team more than just a random guy without any experience and any name on the market. And what are our plans for the future? 4 plans basically. What are we thinking to do with QuickAdmin? So first thing, we will continue to practice, to apply, to improve the application basically. the more and more examples, showcases, and projects on QuickAdmin panel, both inside of QuickAdmin panel like modules, and applying those modules to building like real projects. The example was Lara Quiz. It was a fun project, but I vision we will have more and more showcase of more sophisticated projects like CRMs or data management solutions, maybe open sourcing some of them, maybe even make them as separate paid products or projects, who knows. But we will try to, well, they have a saying that you have to eat your own dog food. So basically you have to use your own tool every day. That's what we're doing, and the plans are to use it more and more. Plan number 2 is to solve our biggest problem today, technical problem, technical issue, that we went totally different way from other Laravel generators, admin panel generators. All of the other tools on the market are basically packages. So you have Laravel project, you install a package, and then that package generates some Laravel code with help of artisan commands or some UI. In our case, we are generating the code online. You test it online in our domain, quickadminpanel.com, and then you download the project, and then you're on your own. So you download the project once, and then it downloads the whole Laravel project for you without any packages, without any dependencies. So you don't depend on our syntax anymore, and we generate pretty standard Laravel project. We're trying to stick to defaults and standard things as much as possible. But then if you want to update the project, then you're on your own. You add your own Laravel code on top of our generated admin panel. And the problem with that is if people want to add more menu items, more CRUDs, more modules on top of that, or if we release a new module and people want to install that on top of existing admin panel, there's a problem. Then they need to download the code again, like the new piece of generated code, then copy and paste that into existing projects, possibly solve some merge conflicts if they have changed something locally and stuff like that. It's not really fun, and we understand that, and we hear that from our customers. There's no easy way to solve that problem. There are multiple ways to make life easier for the customers. One of them is integrating into GitHub. So things that is done by a service called Laravel Shift. I don't know if you've heard of that. Laravel Shift is for upgrading Laravel versions. So the way that tool works is basically integrating into your GitHub account and adding a pull request with changes to your new version, and then you apply the pull request, like approve and merge, and then maybe solve some conflicts. So maybe something like that we will see, but it's among top priorities for nearest future of QuickAdmin panel. Plan number 3 is grow. It's actually related to point number 1, is to go a little higher up the market. Introduce some enterprise packages like pre-built full-blown CRM, for example, or some integration with external CRM actually, and introducing even teams, so like Laravel Spark, for example. So QuickAdmin could be used by a team of like 50 developers, and the company would be a customer as a team, and then providing 50 developers their credentials, and then integrating possibly into their workflow, including GitHub as well. So and that would allow us to have even more like enterprise plan for of course it wouldn't be $29.99 for a year, because it's ridiculous with support, but then it would allow bigger clients to use QuickAdmin panel, and it will be also kind of a productized service. It will be a product and a service as well. And hopefully in the plans for the future we will go full-time. at least one of us. Currently, QuickAdmin Panel is still a side project. It's still kind of half-time to a full-time, something like that. If you combine the time of all teammates and myself, so various teammates work on QuickAdmin Panel from time to time, depending on the workload, on client work, on my own free time. My role here is more manager and marketer and owner, CEO. You can call that, but yeah, it's still not a full-time project. It still doesn't generate enough money to sustain the tool itself. We're not looking for outside investment. We want to continue on our own bootstrap way, and at some point we will go full-time. I believe in that, and maybe you will help. Maybe you will join as a customer and will help us grow, and that's the optimistic plan for the future. Basically, that's it. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please use the comment section below in YouTube video. This picture and this photo on the last slide symbolizes the thinking that a lot of developers think that there are good coders and they can create awesome products, which they can. But if they create awesome products and want to earn money from them, to start a business from that, then it's not as shown in this picture. It won't be like you just launch something and you relax and you sit on the beach and you don't do anything. It's not how the world works. It's constant work with constant improvements, both improvements and supporting existing customers, marketing, selling, paying taxes, actually the whole Excel and tax nightmare. A lot of things like VAT payment for EU, and basically a lot of work which is totally non-existing if you are just a developer. If you are a developer, you are a creator, you are a coder, you are, well, the tech guy, and usually clients come to you via some project manager or your boss, and you don't really care about business side. If you move into product world and want to earn money from your product, you have to change your mindset, shift into business mode, put on your CEO hat or glasses or whatever you call it, and turn into business mode. You need to stop being a developer, which I'm trying to be. It's not as easy as I thought, but I'm still learning and sharing my knowledge and my story on YouTube here. I hope it's useful for you. As I mentioned, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. And also subscribe to the channel Laravel Business, and see you in the next episodes of Laravel Daily Video channel.